Okay, this is like scary, guys. Okay, I don't know who's gonna show up. I don't know when y'all are gonna show up, but I'm gonna be working on the Sonic High School Asylum stuff. That's just what I'm working on today. And all of these are recorded. All of these are in a little, how do I say, like, all of these are in a little playlist. Yeah, they're all in a little playlist of videos. So the purpose of these live streams is to basically just document the development process of each episode, however many there will be. I definitely want to aim for at least 12 episodes. Like, genuinely, this isn't just like ambitious and being stupid. I actually unironically want to aim to animate 12 episodes. Now, it's not all gonna be done within this year. Hell no. Hell fucking no. But definitely I want to do something where it's at least 12 episodes for the show. I don't know. And we'll see from there. Because I just want to create something for you guys, and I want you guys to be able to see the document process. So that's also why I have a playlist. If anybody who's new here and has not viewed my live streams, I have a playlist on my channel called SHSA, I think, live streams. And if you ever take the time to watch them, it's basically like a podcast. I just answer your guys' questions on the characters. It's like, if you guys are in the Discord server, it's basically the equivalent of a podcast version of the discussion channel on there. I just answer your guys' questions. I joke with you, I laugh with you. I make sure to read all of your guys' comments, so not a single one passes by. I see there are 5 people in here, so hi everybody. Hi Speed. Hi Crazy. Hi Blue Gatorade. So, I honestly try to like come up with a question at the very beginning of everything. Number 1, your question for today is, have you guys eaten? And if you have, what have you eaten? And if you haven't eaten something today, go eat something. I went to go pick up an acai bowl and a hamburger with fries, and I am getting through my burger right now, but I think I may have ordered more than I can chew. Yeah. Right now, another thing is, at the very end of my live streams, I really like to show off my progress from start to finish. I finished this scene, this scene, this scene. This scene is a work in progress, and then I need to finish this scene entirely. This could probably take a month. Honestly, I really wanted to get it out by February, but it's looking to be March, April at this point. But, I'm really glad that you guys haven't gotten super antsy or annoyed, The very beginning of my project, I was getting a lot of people being like, when is it coming out? When is it coming out? But I think you guys have understood that it's mainly a one-person project, so, I can't make promises. I can only make estimates. Beef says, thank you so much for feeding and growing the SHSA fandom. It's so awesomeness. I mean, I can't have other people do it for me. I mean, the only way I've had other people do it for me is by making fan art, and thank you guys so much for that. Like, you guys are so, like, awesome for that. I love that. But yeah, I mean, if you want to start a fandom out of thin air, you gotta make it yourself, and you gotta work for it too. Like, there's gotta be something interesting about your fandom that sticks out. And for me, I think what's interesting about my fandom is just, honestly, like, I wonder why it's not onion skinning. Hold on. But yeah, honestly, for me, like, the thing that's most interesting about my fandom is just how things are written. Really, that's really it. Just how the characters are written. Speed says McDonald's. I had McDonald's a few days ago, and I got the Shadow the Hedgehog Happy Meal, the little toy, the Super Shadow toy. It was okay. It was cute. I'm definitely keeping it. Yeah. I don't know why it's not, like... Hold on. Oh, wait. Okay, there, I had my onion skin. I clicked a completely different button to activate onion skin. Okay, we're good now. Vest says I ate Jack in the Box. I have never had Jack in the Box. I have a horror story by proxy over Jack in the Box. The reason I've never had Jack in the Box is mainly because the same reason I've never really had, how do you say, I've never really had, like, fast food in general. And that's just because, now, hold on. My pressure tool isn't here. Usually I have, like, a little tool for pressure. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, usually I don't go out to get fast food often. I've been doing that a little bit more often because my mom's been working and she hasn't been feeding us. But that's besides the point. So, you know, I've never had Jack in the Box though because, growing up, my dad, he said he got food poisoning 3 separate times. Twice, yeah, all from 3 different locations, and one of them was cross country. So he just does not trust that place, like, at all. And so I grew up with a fear that I would get poisoned if I went to Jack in the Box. So I just was like, nope, I'm not going there. Never eating there again. I'm currently making chili dog, says Beef. That is so, interesting. I've never had a chili dog before, despite being a Sonic fan. I've never had one. Are they good? I don't know. I'd love to try a chili dog, but I've had chili before, but I've had it to the point where it's, like, very Mexican influenced. Like, to the point where it just tastes like a spicier pozole, almost. Which is ground meat. Like, that's what it tastes like to me. I don't know if that's what chili is supposed to taste like. Yeah. I don't know why my program is, like, severely bugging right now. Hey guys, I don't know if you guys can see this, but my screen keeps moving, and I keep having to, like... I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Beef says, I personally love how all the characters are written, and low-key super excited to see more of their dynamics. Me too. I am excited too. I have a lot of stuff planned in my head, but I need to be realistic and pace myself before I can just dump all those thoughts onto y'all, because then I'll get burnt out too. Yeah. I'm afraid that if I buy... See, my issue is if... Okay. I'm gonna read the comment out first so that you guys listening, anybody who decides to listen back on this, you guys can know what I'm talking about. That's also why I read out your guys' comments. It's also to acknowledge you as well, because thank you so much. Speed Sonic Star says, I'm planning to buy a chili cheese dog one day. See, my issue with buying a chili dog is that I'm afraid that it's, like, if I buy one rather than make one, it's not gonna taste good. And then I'll waste money too. Like, you know, it's one thing if I, you know, quote unquote waste money to get the groceries and then come back and make it and it doesn't taste good. You know, like, at that point I just have myself to blame, like my mid cooking skills, my shit cooking skills, right? But like, if it was like I went out to Sonic, for example, and I got it. Also, I'm sorry if you can't see my window right now. I am restarting the app. But anyways, if I went out on my own to get it, like, I would feel like a waste of money if it didn't taste good, you know? And taste is subjective, so someone could say, oh, this is the best place I've ever been to, and then I go there trying something new for the first time in my life, and it's American food too. I have an aversion to American food, like, and that's also part of why I don't eat fast food, because of my aversion to American food. I know that sounds like a really trolly statement, like, unserious, but no, trust me, like, I'm just not a fan of American food because a lot of it's greasy, overly salty, and just, yeah, greasy. It's not even oily in a good way, like, you know, it's just greasy. Like, it's just oil for the love of the game. It's just oil, just deep fried and oily, and just, I feel like I'm gaining weight if I bite into a burger sometimes. Like, I know I'm eating Okay. I do want to let you guys know. The other thing is my stream is really bad quality. So, you know, just want to let you guys know if I ever disconnect, I might come back, I might not. It depends on my time zone. I am going to a rave tonight, so if I do disconnect at some point in the next 2 hours, I might not come back anyway. But yeah, just want to let you guys know that as well. My streams tend to disconnect because I have really bad Wi-Fi.
Elon.
Beef says, I personally think chili dogs are better homemade. That's what I've heard. That is definitely what I've heard. If anything, I would make that homemade. My thing is I want to make like the chili that my mom usually makes, which is like very Mexican inspired. And try that and put some like grated cheese on it. Grated like the little, I forgot, is it cojito? I forgot the word for it, but the white crumbly Mexican cheese, I need to put that on my chili dog too. And the Mexican shredded cheese, I need that. That's what I need. Okay, my program's working fine now. Okay, now I can focus a little bit more. So right now I'm just sketching. This isn't the final, I'm just sketching, like almost like storyboarding, because I forgot to do this. Well, it's not like I forgot actually. What really happened was I animated this part. I animated the part before, and I was like, oh shit, I still need Sack's voice line. Sack is the voice actor for Shadow. And lines, it's not his fault though. I think I asked him very last minute. I was like, wait, I need your voice lines. There's this part that's missing. And he's like, okay, I'll send it to you as soon as I can. So now I'm like animating it. It probably would have come out sooner if it wasn't for that, but it's okay. Nobody's at fault really. Well, yeah, right now he's like introducing himself because he got called on. He technically like got passively aggressively called out for wearing his headphones in class, and so now he has to introduce himself. He's like, fuck, I don't want to do that. You heard it earlier. I don't know if you guys could hear it. I know some people were complaining that they couldn't hear Shadow's voice that well. That's something I'll have to edit afterward, but he basically is like, I'd rather kill myself than introduce myself in this classroom. I'm antisocial AF, right? I've heard a lot of people say that Shadow is me AF, and Crazy Skay says, I wish I could buy a chili dog, but... Wait, hold on. Did my, Hold on. Okay, no. My stream is still up, but I think you guys are having a hard time reaching me. Okay, well, it's not like the stream crashed. This is weird. I am so sorry if my stream keeps crashing. That's not really something I can control. It's just my internet. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Crazy Skay says, I wish I could buy a chili dog, but... not from USA, so maybe I'm gonna make one someday. If you're still watching this, my advice to you, or anyone really, if you want to make a chili dog, if you want a chili dog, just make one. Really, honestly, just make one. I've never had one myself, but I've heard way too many reviews of it being better that way, so my best bet is to probably just try it like homemade. If you're not from the USA, like, I would probably just buy it as a souvenir thing. If you're not planning to live here for a while anyway. But other than that, like, definitely make it at home if you're from here and you can, like, get those groceries and whatnot. Zombu says, American food is really greasy and it doesn't really help as much. Yeah, see, my issue with American food is that it's advertised, and this is from someone who didn't grow up on American food as much, and mostly grew up on, like, healthier foods, if anything. My issue with American food is that it's advertised as, well, I don't want to say healthy, but it's advertised as filling. Like, it very easily fills you up. That's the whole premise of fast food. I completely disagree. You know, as somebody who's trying to lose weight, like, fast food is, well, obviously it's not healthy and it's going to make you gain weight, but it's not even that filling either. See, the reason that it makes you gain weight is not just because of the chemicals and the hormones that they pump full of, like, you know, the little chicken nuggets and whatnot. It's not because of that. It's because it is a high caloric food that is low, like, yeah, it's a high caloric food that it isn't as filling. Like, I don't know, like, it's a genuine straight lie. Like, if you're somebody who feels full after eating a burger at, like, McDonald's, and, like, okay, more power to you, but, like, for a lot of people, it is not a filling food, and because of that, see, here's the thing, our bodies work in a sense where, like, we need to feel full to feel satisfied, right? Not to feel, like, heavy after, but to definitely feel full. Right, you're supposed to feel like a little content and full after, and when you eat a high caloric food, especially when you're trying to lose weight, which a lot of weight loss is calorie deficit, it's just not helpful. Like, you could eat, like, for example, eating a burger, small fries, like, if you get a combo meal from McDonald's, it's, like, close to, like, I think 700, 800 calories, maybe less than that, but definitely, like, it's high caloric and you don't really feel much out of it. You don't feel like you ate 500 calories. You feel like you ate less than that. And if you're trying to be on a calorie deficit, and I'm not saying you have to count your calories in order to lose weight, but definitely you are, like, supposed to be eating less portions, eating healthier. It's just not healthy at all for that reason, because you don't feel full after. No, I know, it's funny. You said, Speed Sonic Star says, ironically, I'm eating a burger right now. No, me too. However, I did get this burger from, like, one of those artisanal, like, burger places. Their whole gimmick is they sell, like, superfoods, and this is, like, a vegan burger. So, you know, I'm eating woke people food, but it's good. They did a good job with this. I'm gonna be so for real. This burger slaps. I could not have been able to tell if this was real meat or not. This burger bangs. You just reminded me to take a bite out of my burger. Cord says, Jesus Christ, what version of Adobe are you using? So I'm using Adobe Flash CS6. It's a discontinued one. So it's a discontinued brand, however, how do I say? It's still downloadable. So it's legally classified as grayware, meaning that it's not entirely legal, but it's not entirely illegal either. And it's in a state of legal limbo right now, as to whether you can own it or not. What's definitely illegal is cracking it and making sure you can use it for free past the 30-day trial, which I didn't do that, by the way. Don't do that. Don't make sure that you can crack Adobe Flash CS6, and don't make sure and really don't make sure that you can get you can get past the 30-day trial, okay? Do not get a little key and do not extract some certain files that you'll need to do later using a Reddit tutorial where you'll be needing to do that in order to bypass the 30-day trial, because we do not want to commit piracy. That is extremely illegal if you go ahead and try to bypass the 30-day trial on Adobe Flash CS6 or other Adobe discontinued products. So try not to do that. If I were you, I would try not to do that. But yeah, anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so this is a version of Adobe Flash CS6, and yeah. Zombu asks, wait, Roses, good question. What version of Bandicam did you get? So, I just downloaded, like, Adobe Bandicam is so easy to install on your PC. So, okay, quick little tip before I go further. If you ever want to install an application, make sure you have a PC. If you have a Mac, it's just going to be harder, especially if you're an artist. Like, if you're going to be a computer artist, like, Macs are not artist friendly. I will say Macs are more friendly for like journaling, coding, stuff like that. I mean, honestly, PC is more friendly. PC can support a lot more, which is mainly why like you get a lot of PC ports, but Windows ports before you get Mac ports. I'm not sure exactly why. I used to be able to know the explanation, but I kind of forgot. But yeah, before I just wanted to get that out of the way, because I don't know if you can download Bandicam on Mac, because it's such a thing people associate with Windows PCs instead. Yeah. Oh yeah, and to answer your question, I almost forgot what I was gonna say. So I just downloaded the most recent version at the time for me, which is probably like 2 years ago, of Bandicam. It's really that simple. You can just go on the Bandicam page and download it for free. They want to push a little premium paywall onto you, but you can easily bypass that. There's nothing special you need to do. You don't need premium. I don't use premium, hence that's why I have the watermark anyway. But yeah. I've had a lot of people asking me how I got Adobe on my PC. And what you don't want to do, you don't want to go on Reddit. You're not going to get the answers that you need on there. You really don't want to go to Reddit and search up how to get Adobe Animate or Adobe Flash, because you don't want to say Animate. But if you do want Adobe Cracked, you don't want to go on Reddit and search it up, because piracy is illegal, guys, and you don't want to commit piracy in this day and age where the economy is crashing. You really don't want to do that. It's not good for you guys. It's not sensible, and it's not whatever. I don't know. I can't keep doing the whole opposite day stuff. Oh, I've also had, sorry if you can hear me chewing on my burger. This burger is delicious, by the way. It's not even real meat, it's Beyond Meat. But yeah, I also provide tutorials on here, on my live streams, so if you're watching this, you will hear a lot more on how I do my things. Like, in a previous live stream, I explained how I made my audio so low quality. It is literally a built-in feature of this application. You don't have to do the extra CapCut shit that they tell you on TikTok, because they're not using Adobe Flash. They are using TuneSquid. TuneSquid does not convert your audio files and crush the bitrate automatically. I wanted to use Fraps instead of Bandicam, but I think Fraps just doesn't work on modern PCs anymore. I don't know what Fraps is. I've actually never heard of that. Is that like... Because anytime I was on YouTube back in the day, I would see the Bandicam logo instead. Is Fraps like a non-American software for recording? Wav says the Bandicam logo adds the flavor. I agree. It does. Yeah. Oh my god, I completely forgot my dog was in here. She's sleeping right now. She's so cute. I wish I could like help people on how to get like Adobe, but you know, okay, unironically, not doing the whole warping bit anymore. Like, I unironically can't help people anymore because it's one thing to be able to download any Adobe version that you want. It's another thing to have it cracked. You have to like extract certain files and download other files and like replace certain files to bypass. And I don't want to I don't want to accidentally make people delete crucial files because I kind of didn't know what I was doing. I didn't learn anything the hard way. It's just I had the Reddit tutorial like right by my side to help me. And well, number one, I don't even know if that tutorial exists anymore. That was like a year ago now. And two, I didn't know what I was gonna say actually, so fuck. That was my main reason for being hesitant to helping people. I'm not gatekeeping, I promise. I have literally never heard of Fraps. I just thought the watermark looked cooler than Bandicam's. You know what's my favorite watermark when it comes to screen recording anything? Filmora. Like, Filmora, like, people who, like, post to YouTube with the giant-ass Filmora logo, like, it's just the funniest videos ever, like, unintentionally funny. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but like, my favorite genre on YouTube is, like, autistic people being earnest, like, earnestly enjoying their things, but they're just so into it, it's, like, absurd, and it's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Like, I saw a, Paw Patrol edit with the giant-ass Filmora logo, and Filmora is not, like, an editing software by any means. Like, it's a basic video editing software, but it's mainly, like, a film recording, right? It was just so fucking funny. I was just laughing for, like, a good minute. It was good. It was good. I don't get Paw Patrol fans and their obsession with the pink dog. Like, maybe she's the most attractive dog out of the entire cast, but it's just really funny. It's just really funny. I fucking love Filmora. I used it before. I actually used it to make an edit. I don't know if my edit had the giant ass Filmora logo or if I bypassed that, but a lot of people don't know how to bypass certain things, so they just have the big ass logo, and it's just really funny. Yeah, Sky, that's her name. I don't understand why people like Sky. Is she like the hottest dog out of the entire cast or something? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna judge fully. I'm gonna judge a little because that's not my thing, but like, I'm not gonna like call you names and whatnot unless I don't like you. Then I'll just straw man and be like, you're a weird zoophile just because I already don't like you. But if you're like a stranger and you're into that shit, I'm just not gonna interact with you. I'm just gonna be like, okay, you are a little odd. I'm not gonna talk to you. But yeah, I don't get like their obsession with Sky. Like, what's so special about her? Have any of you guys watched Paw Patrol. Zombu asks, does Shadow listen to Aisha Erotica? Hell fucking nah. Did you not read the character sheet? Like, bro. I'm not even trying to make fun of you, but hell nah. Hell nah, bro. Hell nah. No. No. Not only does he consider that sissy music, he thinks it's poser AF. Like, he thinks it's shitty pop music, and that it's, like, music you only play, like, here at the clubs, and he does not go to the club, so... Wait. Paw Patrol was your childhood? How old are you? Isn't, like, Paw Patrol, like... I want to say, like, 8 years old or something? I don't know how long Paw Patrol has been around, but it's definitely, like... It's definitely gonna be, like, the brink of Gen Z and Gen Alpha nostalgia material, because for me, I'm, like... I was born in 2006. So by the time, like... I hit 11, that's when I started seeing Paw Patrol. And just, that's odd. There was one time I found like a 10-year-old in my live stream, which, by the way, people on TikTok kind of gave it to me. And you know what? Fine, I won't react like that again. Because they're right, I shouldn't have yelled at a child. However, if you're like under the age of like 15 looking at my content, be warned. And I'm not gonna be your parent and be like, get the fuck off my page, but I'm not gonna get canceled, okay? I'm laying that right now. If I find out there's like somebody like a 13, like 10-year-old like looking at my shit, that's not my responsibility to monitor my own content. Shit, like, that's not my problem. But yeah. Oh my god! Felix is getting trauma flashbacks of the 10-year-old, LOL. No, because I literally just finished my tangent. Just in case. I want y'all to clip that. If I ever get canceled for, like, not monitoring my content for my audience, like, bitch, I don't give a fuck. I really don't give a fuck. Like, I should be able to draw what I want to draw within reason, without having to be worried about who's watching it. You know, obviously if there's genitals out, I'm gonna put that shit 18 plus, but I can't monitor like every single minor that's watching my content and be like, hey, you, get out of here. This is a very suggestive content I'm making here. That's not my responsibility. It's really not. Oh, you're 15. Oh. Well, I guess that does make sense, because, like, I just don't remember, like, growing up on Paw Patrol, like, but then again, I was a public access TV kid, so, like, you know, I may have missed out on a few things. Paw Patrol was 2013? Okay, yeah. That makes a lot of sense, because, I missed out on that, because by the time it was 2013, I was not allowed to watch TV anymore. I got adopted into this family, which is my forever home. I'm trying to leave right now. Shh, don't tell anybody. But, yeah, by the time it was 2013, I got adopted into this family where my father, he has, like, a misophonia thing with TV ads. Like, there's something about TV ads that just makes him, like, absolutely crash the fuck out. I just wasn't allowed to watch TV. Hold on. Zombu says, right, parents should keep an eye on what their kids be watching nowadays. Yeah, because I'm gonna keep it so honest with you guys, like, I had like almost a breakdown recently because like, well, I do feel that content creators should be held accountable for what they do. I think a lot of what they're being held accountable for nowadays, especially the art community, is just like very, very dramatic. Like, you know, if you have a Discord server and you clearly lay out the rules, and even though Discord is for kids 13 and up, like, you clearly like say what, like, for example, I've clearly said what my content is based off of. It's based off of Class of '09, which is very suggestive material, very raunchy material. Eddsworld has its fair share of raunchy material. It's supposed to be teenage humor and like for young adult audiences, but I am recognizing that there's a lot of like 13, 14-year-olds in there, like a lot more than what I anticipated. But then again, it is a Sonic like animation, right? But what I feel is that like I shouldn't have to like sanitize just because there are 13 and 14-year-olds in there. They're not the target audience, so therefore I shouldn't have to sanitize my content. I shouldn't have to. I really shouldn't. I shouldn't have to be like, oh, well, no more gore, no more suggestive panty shots. Yeah, I really shouldn't have to. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like it diminishes creativity within a lot of smaller content creators when they have to feel like they have to sanitize things just because they have a different audience than what they anticipated for. Because, like, that's how you get an annoying fan base, you know? And I'm gonna keep it honest with you guys. I kind of don't like my fan base. Like, I love you guys, but there's a small section of you guys that just pissed me off so bad, like, already, and the first episode isn't even out, like, I don't know. No hate, obviously. I don't hate you guys, it's just, sometimes you guys piss me off a little bit. But, thankfully, it's just a small minority. Wav says, honestly, what happened to YouTube Kids? This shit was fire. Or maybe that says that shit. I don't know, but this shit was fire. There's usually TS means this shit. Yeah, exactly. I'll get to that point in a bit. But, YouTube Kids isn't being used anymore because, like, too many video essays covered how dangerous it is. And a lot of parents are like, oh my god, this is so dangerous. I'm gonna, like, monitor what they watch, and now they can't watch YouTube Kids. But then, like, a lot of parents I've seen, and I know this from firsthand just due to babysitting experiences and whatnot, they will just literally move them to Netflix Kids. And Netflix Kids is, like, a better version of YouTube Kids. Like, it's more moderated, but, like, every once in a while they forget to flag a show that's for kids when it's really for adults. And then also they'll just let them watch anime. That's infinitely worse in my opinion with all the fan service. Anime is supposed to be for young adults. There is anime for children, but anime sites don't have an anime site dedicated to watching anime for kids. That's why we had 4Kids back in the day. That's literally why we had 4Kids back in the day. I'm not even fucking kidding. Like, there was for those of you guys who don't know and who weren't around to live that era, there was because I know there are definitely people who are probably around my age but just didn't experience the 4Kids era. There was a broadcasting channel that was literally called 4Kids. It was a anime dubbing studio based in New York, and literally they dubbed, like, very popular stuff like Sonic X, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Tokyo Mew Mew, and just a One Piece as well, the original One Piece English dub that was by 4Kids. Just a lot of stuff like that. It was very sanitized, a little too sanitized because they would remove, like, cultural aspects from Japan. But then again, like, you'd have to spend extra effort trying to teach American children the Japanese nuances, right? So I mean, I can see why they did that, especially for that time period. But yeah, you know, it was a really good way to segue people, and Pokemon as well. It's a really good way to segue people into anime. Like, I don't know. Really, really sad that that's not a thing anymore. Because now, you know, there are anime sites on... there are anime sites, however, like, they are grouped in with, like, an easy search for an anime, like an adult anime. Not talking about hentai, but I'm talking about more adult-geared anime. And so yeah, it's just really sad. Hey, Daisy. Vest says, I can kind of tell you don't like your fan base. I think that's what you were saying. Yeah. That's kind of why I'm not in my server as often anymore. Also, I'm just too busy, but, like, it's more like my issue with a certain part of my fan base is that you guys seem to be forgetting, and that's okay. It's okay, because, you know, the first episode isn't out, neither is the second one, but you guys seem to be forgetting that, like, you know, like... It's, like, don't look up to me. Don't look up to me. If you guys are very tapped in with cancel culture and making sure you're not problematic, don't look up to me, okay? Don't be in this fandom. This fandom, I'm not saying that I'm gonna welcome in Nazis, but I'm definitely more centric in my views and stuff like that. So therefore, like, just don't look up to me, bro. Like I'm not your role model. I do appreciate that you guys like my shit, but, like, you know, anytime I've made, like, an offensive joke, I've had, like, 3 or 4 people be like, oh my god, I can't believe Felix would say that! Like, dude, you guys don't know me either, like, come on, like, I am gonna say that shit. But in fact, I'm writing that shit into the next script, like, I don't know, it doesn't piss me off, but that part doesn't piss me off. What really does piss me off is, like, mainly just how, sensitive my fan base is when, like, dude, do you guys know what you guys came in for? Like, I don't know, man. Like, it almost, like, made me sanitize my content for a while when I realized, like, a good majority of the people that are active in the Discord server are very sanitized and pearl clutching almost in their beliefs. And it's okay because they're young, but also it's not because, like, I don't want to feel like I have to, like, sanitize. I'm just gonna keep using that word. I don't want to feel like I have to, like, clean up my content and make it friendly. Like, this is, like, a big problem with the Class of '09 fandom, where, like, it's really funny because they don't, like, it's kind of happening to my fandom too, which is ironic because it's based off of Class of '09, where, like, a lot of people are like, yeah, it's okay to draw self-harm and gore art, but, you know, it's wrong to draw Jekka and Nicole in certain positions because they're minors. Like, dude, like at least keep the same energy, like, first of all, but also, like I don't know, it's just like it feels like I have to tiptoe as the content creator, you know? I can't really word how I feel about my fan base. It's not like I hate you guys or I'm even, like, displeased with you. Well, I'm a little displeased, but it's more like I think it's just because you guys haven't seen the first episode. Again, I'm giving you guys a lot of, like, leeway here. I think you guys just haven't seen what the show has to offer, so therefore you guys are just, like... And I think it's also the content I create. It's not overly edgy either. So I think you guys have, like, a perception that, like, oh, this is gonna be a very cutesy, like, silly uwu girl show or something. I'm not sure. Even when I try to do the little edgy content, I make it a little cutesy in aspect. But yeah, this feels like a word salad, but in general, I just can't fully articulate what it is about that minority that I don't like. But I hope I did it well. And I do want to let you guys know it's not the entire fan base. You guys are great. I love you guys. It's just that small minority. It's like, yo, you guys know what you signed up for, right? Rav says, just like what happened to Friday Night Funkin', I almost said Five Nights at Freddy's, but that too, just not to the same degree. See, my issue is that, like, especially with the Friday Night Funkin' fandom, because I feel like Class of '09 isn't the best example, because, you know, because like those feature high school girls, and I have my own opinions, but I'm not ready to get canceled within 1 week, so I'm just gonna refrain from saying that right now. But in the case of Friday Night Funkin', where the two girls, or the guy and the girl, are like above the age of 18, and they're not even drawn in a suggestive art style, they're just drawn like in suggestive scenarios, so it's not like the game is porn dedicated, if that makes sense. It doesn't have the certified Gooner art style, whereas Class of '09 kind of does. My issue is that like it's very obvious that a lot of kids, they join something, and kids are innocent kids, and that's kind of why they don't need to be on the internet, but kids are innocent, and they're gonna see sexual things, and they're gonna be like, whoa, I can't believe boyfriend and girlfriend are like about to have sex, that's weird and uncomfortable, because they're children, right? They don't need to be knowing about that, first of all, and so it's very valid reaction for them to have, to be uncomfortable by the notion of sex, right? But when the game is catered to adults but has an art style that appeals to children, you're gonna get childlike fans. You're gonna get literal fans that are children, right? And because children are averse to sex for obvious reasons, not saying that they shouldn't be, but because children are averse to sex, like that's when you get a lot of children, and even teenagers. Teenagers, it also makes sense for a lot of them to be averse to sex, because your body's growing, your body's changing, you're not used to yourself. You're definitely not going to be used to sex either, right? At least not until you're in your late teens, especially like with the age of boyfriend and girlfriend. They're 19 years old, so they're not averse to sex or sexual activities or even talking about it. But yeah, like you're gonna get a lot of young teenagers who are like, hey, I think it's weird that they're doing this, or, oh, isn't it crazy that they're about to have sex, it's implied here. And then young children are going to see people saying that and be like, yeah, that's wrong, and then it just kind of forms a hive mind of people saying, yeah, that's wrong, when the original intent of the game was to be able, and then that's when that sort of aversion to sex creates a purity culture, and it's a whole thing, and that's also what has fueled me to not really like children being online. It is not a space for you anymore, and unfortunately it sucks, but every space that has been made for kids has been infiltrated by adults, and that really sucks as well. And so there are definitely things for children, but like that one thing, like Friday Night Funkin' is a really good example of like something looking like it's for children, but it's not. And like then they get grossed out by the fact that there are sexual themes in the game that's not for them anyway, and then they kind of want to budge their way into a fandom that's not made for them anyway, and then they want to, because they are uncomfortable with sexual topics because they're children, then it just kind of breeds a pure